Hi guys, I'm Jennifer and welcome to my channel, Mint Green Gypsy. Today we're going to be making over some thrifted wall art that I needed to get into my shop. So thank you for being here and I hope you enjoyed the video. I found these frames at a garage sale a while ago. I did not like the bright gold color, plus they had some discoloration. The frames were metal and the oval mats were plastic. The finishes were very slick and non-porous. I took them outside and I sprayed them with 2 coats of Behr white gloss spray paint. The spray paint adheres to non-porous surfaces and also acts as a primer. I let the frames dry overnight. I took watercolor paper and lightly traced the oval cutout of the mat. You can barely see it on camera. Next, I'm taking the IOD transfer book Wilde Bloom and cutting transfers to fit inside the oval mat. Transfers are very easy to apply, especially on a flat surface. I remove the backing, place the transfer where I wanted it, and then use the transfer stick to rub on the transfer, lifting the vellum as I go. After I had my transfer in place, I used an eraser to remove the pencil lines. I did not clear coat the transfer since it will be under glass. For the second frame, I cut out several different pieces from the Wilde Bloom transfer book and put them together to fill the frame, and then use the same process to apply them to the watercolor paper. I like the metal frames with the white spray paint, but I decided to paint the mats with Fusion mineral paint in the color Lavender Haze. I used a stippling motion to avoid any brush strokes. I ended up doing 1.5 coats of the Lavender Haze. This project is almost complete. Let me know how you like them in the comments. For the next project, I am making over this large faux window frame. I'm showing you that it does have some slight damage. I got it at the thrift store, but apparently it was originally sold at Kirkland's for $225. I thought that was a crazy price. My first step is to cut the paper backing and remove the staples that are holding in the print. This was quite a laborious task, and I didn't make you sit through it all. After the staples were removed, I'm taking all the parts out of the frame. In hindsight, it would have been much easier if I would have flipped the print over and worked on the back. But here I am painting over the front side of the print with Fusion Mineral Paint in the color Casement, which is a pure white color. I did end up getting bleed through and giving the print a coat of Kilz Primer before moving forward. You can see I lightly traced the frame onto the print to help me know where to place my images. I'm using Debi's DIY paint in the colors Farm Fresh and Crinoline. They had been open for a while and were a bit thick, so I added water to thin out the paint. I have the colors in 2 separate bowls, each with their own brush. I also have a third brush that I will be using for blending. I'm printing the squares where I'll be adding a transfer, and I wanted to add a highlight with the Crinoline, blending it into the Farm Fresh color, giving the background some dimension. I mixed the DIY color Electrified with water, and I'm using a brush to splatter the paint, building up an interesting background. For the squares that I left white, I am adding Roycycled Treasures decoupage paper called Patina Roses. I'm misting the back of the decoupage paper to allow the fibers to stretch, which helps reduce wrinkles. Then I'm painting DIY liquid patina in strips, smoothing out the paper as I lay it down. It is important to get a thin, even coat of your decoupage medium. This also helps reduce bubbles and wrinkles in your paper. I've finished the squares with the decoupage paper, and the paint on the other squares has dried, so I am applying IOD transfers from the Ephemeral Melange pack. I decided to paint the frame with Fusion Mineral Paint in the color Bayberry. If you are enjoying this video, please give it a thumbs up, and if you haven't subscribed, please do. I am so close to my goal of 1,000 subscribers. And your finished frame is coming up in a few seconds. Okay guys, this is the last project for today. I found this beautiful pastel of a collie named Sky at the thrift store. The artist was so talented, but the frame and the mat were in rough shape and needed updating. I just couldn't leave Sky behind, so I brought her home. The first thing I had to do was clean up the frame. I really like the Norwax rags for cleaning glass, and I use them all the time. After that was done, I flipped the frame over and started taking it apart. I cut the backing and removed the nails that were holding in the artwork, which was a pretty easy task, thankfully. Whenever I remove old rusty nails, I always put them aside to use for future Halloween projects. The artwork was taped to the back of the mat. I decided to slice the tape with a box cutter so that I did not tear the paper. Once I got the mat free, I painted it with Debi's DIY paint in the color Crinoline. There was a second mat that I tried to freehand with Fusion's Coal Black, but it got really messy and I ended up cutting the two mats apart off screen and then painting it that way. I gave the crinoline a coat of Big Top and let that dry overnight. And for the last step, I painted the frame with Fusion in Coal Black. Please leave me a comment and let me know how you think Sky's makeover turned out. At the end of this video, I have included photos of my dogs who are always with me while I'm doing my project makeovers, so stay tuned to meet them. Okay, this is actually the last step. I wanted to show you this point driver I got from Amazon. If you're doing frame makeovers, this tool definitely comes in handy. I'll leave the link in the description box. And here's the finished frame of Sky. This is Levi. He was rescued from the shelter and he is about 10 years old. And this is Stella, also a rescue. She is about 7 years old. Thank you guys so much for watching.